This Shopify store made $20,000 in just 7 days. And no, it wasn't luck. This wasn't just some viral fluke. And no, I didn't just get lucky with a viral product. I followed a very, very proven system. One that I've used over and over and over again to launch real brands that actually scale. The strategy I followed is based on the core ideas of this book, The Lean Startup. Launch something simple, see how the market reacts, and improve based on what's actually already working. And that's exactly what I did with this store. So today I want to break down what went into those first 7 days, the thinking behind the product, how I discovered the product, how I built the store, how I launched the ads, and the real data that told me I was on the right path. So let's get right into it. Day 1, product research and selecting a niche. So I actually came by this product totally by chance. I was researching a competitor called HiSmile, which you can see here. And I was just looking through their entire site. And in there, I found they had a help desk. And while researching this help desk right here, it was extremely random. But down here at the bottom, when I scrolled down into the general questions, I saw a very strange question with a very, very strange name. It said Baby Bum. And to me, that was, of course, such a strange name. Why would HiSmile, the teeth whitening company, have a name called Baby Bum? So I researched it. I looked more into it. I Googled that name and found that this was a separate company owned by HiSmile as well. Well, HiSmile, they had crushed it with their ecom brand. HiSmile is doing crazy numbers. So if this was their new store, I had a unique opportunity to take that product from Australia, where the brand was selling in primarily, and just take it to Denmark and then build a similar brand. Basically, this is the product. As you can see, it's a kind of portable bottle warmer. You charge it with battery, and then you're able to get on the go with your baby. You can get outside even when you're flying, and you've always got food for your baby at the correct temperature. And when I realized this product, I had never seen anything like it, but I also didn't know it was that good since I wasn't a parent myself, of course. So this was a completely new audience to me. So I did a lot of digging, a lot of researching. Was this product even clever? I asked my parents if they could have used it when they had me as a baby. I even went in on certain blog pages just reading all about bottle warmers. So from all of my research, I found that a lot of people actually love these guys' Baby Bum, their product at least. But when I researched in Denmark, I couldn't see anyone selling it. I couldn't see anyone selling this product in Scandinavia whatsoever. So I knew quite confidently that I could be a first mover here and capitalize on this amazing opportunity. If I could do my marketing correctly, people could get the impression that, my brand maybe even invented this product since I was such a first mover. But in reality, all I did was just see what was working in Australia. I found another brand in the US that sold it successfully, and boom, took it to Denmark. And when I looked more into Baby Bum, they had already gotten a bunch of positive Trustpilot reviews. They had incredible content as well. So in my mind, I knew that this was working for them. I could see they were running successful Facebook ads as well. And when you see that someone is running multiple meta ads, you just know they're making money from it. Well, because no business wants to burn money. So I immediately jumped onto Alibaba and I typed in bottle warmer, and a lot of options came up already. I then went on to contact a bunch of the suppliers, but most suppliers actually got back to me. However, I wanted the exact same product that Baby Bum and my Australian competitor had, which was this one right here, because in my mind, if they had success with that model, surely then if I sell the same model, I'll have an easier time, right? Maybe it's just a better model. But when I contacted all of these suppliers here for this specific model, and trust me, I contacted a lot, I figured out that Baby Bum actually had exclusivity agreements with this product, which meant that this supplier was not even allowed to sell this product to other businesses. So Baby Bum had the exclusivity agreement in Australia, and their US competitor had it in the US and also in Europe. So I couldn't possibly sell this version in Europe, unfortunately. So that kind of left me back at the beginning. I now needed to pick a new model, and through this, I didn't know whether that new model would work or not. But I found a new model, which was this one right here. And I contacted the supplier and got a few samples. But just before placing the order for these samples, the supplier actually just asked me, "Hey Nikolai, don't you want to get your custom logo and custom packaging for these products for free, which was extremely kind of him because this would make me look way more established for the content that I had to do in the future, right? Having a product with your logo on from the get-go just makes you seem so much more established, and it makes you stand out from the rest of the competition. I was also in tight communication with the supplier around the cost of each unit because I needed to make sure that the profits on each unit sold would make sense, and then I proceeded with placing the order. The most important thing when analyzing your cost for your product is that you have a markup of 3, okay? So that means if you buy the product for $25, you need to be able to sell it for at least $75. That way you have enough profit on each unit that you can build an actual business around this product. If your markup or if your profit on each unit is way too slim, it just doesn't make sense spending the time and effort on creating a business around the product that maybe won't even make you that much money anyway. Day 2, building a store. Now this was a huge challenge because I needed to target parents and I wasn't one, so I had a very difficult time understanding my actual target audience, which is a huge issue because you need to be writing text for your target audience. You need to be able to put a emotional connection with your target audience. If you don't understand them, that will be impossible. So I continued to do a lot of research on the competitors in Australia and in the US that did well with the product. I read all of their text basically. I researched all about them. I even read all of their reviews so that I could understand how to position myself. I focused again and again on making the copy focused on parents, and I was brainstorming over what the product actually did for the customers, because in the end you always want to optimize your copy so that you tell about how your product actually changes and improves the life of the customer. Most beginners in ecom make the mistake of writing about the battery life or the color of the product and so on, but that's totally irrelevant if the customer doesn't know why they actually need the product. You need to be more clever about it. And in our case, it became extremely obvious after a few hours of research that our product could help relieve stress from parents, and it could help parents be more on the go with their babies. In the end, giving more freedom to parents and enabling them to be a better parent. And this was something that could help them towards that goal. But to create my site, I naturally went onto Shopify. There's a link down below for a free trial for you guys. And I started my free trial. And when my Shopify account was created, I picked a theme, of course. I had already optimized a few Shopify themes before for a couple of other ecom brands that I had run at the time. So I just reused those themes because they were extremely optimized. And this is also a theme that I share publicly in my mentorship program, because it's just in this day and age, you don't get very far with the basic Shopify themes. You need something that's a bit more custom, that's high-end looking, professional, and different. Most people struggle with that. So I just took the same themes that I had already used successfully for my other brands, and a good looking site built on a perfect theme that's fast, efficient, good looking is really such a huge step in that path. Also, quick caveat, in that mentorship program, I host 5 weekly Q&As with the people who are in it. I give raw one-on-one coaching. This is not just a video course. We've literally got an entire warehouse, a 3PL, a logistics center built for our students in our mentorship program so that they can also access cheaper shipping costs. And if you don't know anything about my story, I've basically done more than $20 million in revenue in the past 4 years. This was one of the stores that I had success with, but I've done this many times over and over again. So that's of course why I'm teaching a couple of other people to do it themselves with great success. And with that plug out of the way, I began changing my site. I immediately went in and I started changing the colors. I knew I needed a color scheme which was way more friendly and playful. So I picked these kind of bluish colors, bright blue kind, with a white text on it to make it easy to read. And I did that for all of the buttons on the site to have a consistent branding. This is another thing that a lot of people struggle with. They are not creating good branded colors and fonts that match their target audience. And also went in and changed my typography here, because once again, you want a text that's matching your brand and the vibe you're trying to get. So I picked Poppins, such a good looking font. You see, this already now gives way more of a branded feel, and if I add our color scheme up to the announcement bar here, you can definitely tell what I'm talking about. And so I started filling out the site with all of the text and the copy that could convince people to buy the product. I also created the Instagram page here and the Facebook page. I made a couple of posts to make the brand seem more authentic. I did these highlights. I also bought a few followers, honestly, for I think it was $15 just to make the brand seem a bit more established. And finally, all I needed to do was to source the content. Now I had the structure, but in the end, all that matters is the videos and the ads. So day 3, sourcing content and making ads. As I already told you, I wanted to become a first mover on this product, so I didn't want to risk waiting with getting the sample from my supplier, which would take 14 to 20 days. I was way too impatient because I didn't want to risk anyone else becoming the first mover on it. I had realized that the people who moves the first with this product can take such a large market share in a short amount of time. So I decided desperately to research on whether I could buy that product locally or on any other page online. And then I got the perfect idea. Why don't I buy it on Amazon? Because I found a model on Amazon that was exactly the same from Germany. Then I would order the product, have it within 2 to 3 days. I would film the content and then I would return the product. Then it would all be free for me even. I could get the product faster. I could work faster, make faster progress and get the product for free. So when I got the product, I took out my tripod right here. I really recommend getting one like this for your phone. And then I prepared everything. I put this up, I put my phone in it, and I got ready to shoot a bunch of ads. But because I realized that most people would probably buy this product would be women, so I actually got my mom to just use her hands to make it more realistic, since you always want to have your target audience, which in my case was women, in your videos. That will make the videos and your ads resonate way better with your target audience. And this is just another mistake I see all the time. If your target audience is males in the age of 18 to 25, why do you have a woman that's 55 years old in your ads, okay? And also, why don't you mix up the people in your ads? Most businesses have different target audiences. And while most women would probably primarily buy my product, later down the line, I of course also added males because, some male parents would also buy this product for their kids. So I filmed all of my ads in the living room, outside, in the garden, and even in the car. I actually completely messed up my mom's car due to dropping all of the baby powder in it, and I needed to clean that afterwards. And then once I had all the footage, I created the ads. So let me actually break down for you how the ads turned out, because this is a perfect example of the fact that you don't really need the perfect ads in the beginning. You just need something that's okay. So this was actually an image that I just took myself, and I just added these 4 arrows in Canva. Quick and simple. If you've seen my ecom story before, you know that this ad is something I always love testing. I've had another brand that's done more than $10 million in revenue, and trust me when I say that this ad here, it created more than $2 million in revenue for that other brand. So this is a crazy powerful yet very simple ad to do and specifically to launch with. So you can see this is me in our old car back at my parents'. So I tried doing this myself. It worked okay. So as you can see, what I'm doing here is kind of a video where I just showcase the product. I even took a few images of the product outside, because this product is used for the outside. So put your product in the most obvious environments. And this is me using my tripod, unboxing the product. As you can see, it actually looks very professional, and I hadn't even launched at this point. Really try always to do a close-up of your products. People need to be able to understand, to see, to feel the details of the product, right? And you can actually see that this product kind of looks pretty premium, right? Due to the good lighting. And it makes you seem way more established whenever you have a customized packaging. That's so crucial. So definitely, once you get customized packaging, you need to show it on your ads. By the way, I actually did this packaging myself. If you're ever in doubt about how to make your packaging, make sure to make it very minimalistic, okay? I got the product in a couple of different variants, as you can see here. So I knew I couldn't launch with all 3 of these, so I decided to launch only with the white one. But I wanted to showcase the blue one and the pink one to once again seem more established, to tell people and show people that we have it in multiple colors. And then when I would launch, this product right here would just be out of stock, and this one would be out of stock as well. I also tried taking a couple of images of these products on a blue background and our brand color. I think they turned out okay. And with all of that, I was ready to launch, I also decided to launch this product with a discount. I typically do that because I want to launch it with around a 20% discount to just hype it, to say, due to us launching, we have this sale. A lot of people make the mistake of having sales without having a reason for it, and that can actually scare customers because most most scammy stores online, they are just always having a 50% discount or whatever. Finally, I added the content and images to our site to finalize everything, and I turned on the ads. I always just launch my product using Facebook ads because this is the largest platform and the best one, just to be honest with you. I always set up one campaign that's a top funnel cold campaign focused on sales. And then I have 4 ad sets, one ad set with one interest each. That way we've got a bunch of different content to test and different ads to test, and we can see what really works, both in terms of the ads and the audiences in the ad sets. Most of you probably wondered, Nikolai, what did you do with fulfillment? Well, for fulfillment, I decided to launch the product using the same framework that I've always done. It's the best, most unique framework I've ever seen for launching products, to be honest. And it's one that I've developed myself specifically, that I also teach a lot in depth in my mentorship program. But we launched the product on pre-orders, okay? So what this means is that we will not buy stock home of our product before we know whether the product works. This is another huge mistake I see people making when they try to launch an e-com brand. They buy home stock before they even know if the product works, and in most cases you will end up having a shitty, terrible e-com store that isn't selling. We want to test our product as lean as possible, get the proof of concept, see that it works, and then later on, once we've had our first orders, we buy the stock. Most people ask, well, Nikolai, when you do pre-orders, don't customers become angry? Yeah, they do if you aren't doing good customer service. So that's why when you're doing pre-orders, you of course need to inform your customers of that fact. You need to be honest and trustworthy with them. And so I did that because that would allow me to move way faster with the product, see whether it works before I invest more time in it, and then move on. And then if the product would do well, I would immediately order home a large bulk order and send it to a 3PL that will take care of all of the logistics. So day 4 to 7 was all about evaluating and optimizing. Naturally, meta ads often actually needs around 12 to 48 hours just to approve your ads. So it's very rare that you actually get sales on the day that you launch. So I waited for the next day, and the next day I actually got sales immediately. And it worked great, to be honest. I had very, very good numbers when I looked in the ads manager. What I'm always analyzing here is our ROAS. I want our return on ad spend to be above a 3. If that's the case, then the product has proved itself, and then I'm confident enough to order home a small bulk order. But you don't just want to test your product in one day because you can get one lucky order and your ROAS can look really good. You want to test your product over the course of at least 7 days, but preferably 7 to 10 days. And then you want over that period to have a ROAS of above 3. But to be honest, something that I wasn't aware of with this product was that customers, well, in the baby niche, they can actually get quite angry if they have to wait too long on the product, because their babies actually only need this product in a certain age group. And so if we are 2 or 3 months late with delivering the product, chances are maybe the customer can't even use the product for their babies. So I had to do a great job on the customer service. I dealt with it, but I definitely wasn't aware that it would be such more work compared to all of the other niches where I had done pre-orders 1,000 times without any issues. So it also depends a lot on your niche, actually. And as a result, I decided to buy my first bulk order pretty early from all the revenue that I had done, and I got onto a 3PL as well as soon as possible. If you don't know what a 3PL is, this is the one thing that will make running an e-com brand like a dream. It's a logistics center or a warehouse that you actually just do a deal with. So they charge you a small fee for each order, and in exchange, they will store all of your products. They will pick and pack it, put it in the right labels, boxes, and ship it to the end customer. And so after a couple of days of having really good data and really good ROAS, I decided to ramp up the revenue because, as I told you, I wanted to become the market leader. So I scaled up the ad spend fast. I wanted to establish myself as the first company in Denmark with this product. And so within those 7 days, I actually ended up doing more than $20,000 with this new product. And then it was all about scaling the product. So with that said, I really hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, go ahead and like and subscribe this video, and I'll see you in the next one.